Yep. So we're recording now. I am Mr. Moody. For those that don't know who I am, I'm the athletic director here at Yorktown Middle School. I also teach BIT. So many of your kids have me in class, or they know me through sports anyways. So, but yeah, that's who I am. I appreciate you all being here for the Zooms that we do for the parent meetings. This is pretty easy for everybody, especially with being able to record it and put it up online. So if anybody misses, they can just go back and rewatch it. So it really helps out a lot. So I'm going to start with concussion protocol. We stopped doing impact testing last year. We're going to continue not doing impact testing. We run everything through Brooke Wagner. Really, any injuries, honestly, go through her. She will clear athletes along with doctors that the athletes are going to. So a lot of that is out of my hands. She just kind of tells me, so and so will be out until this date. They'll be cleared when they're cleared, and I kind of relay that to coach. So that's how we handle things. It makes it a lot easier on me. I'm not a medical professional at all, so taking that out of my hands makes it a smarter decision for everybody. So that's how we do that. She contacts me. We work closely. And if anything happens there, she will kind of take the helm, and I will listen to what she has to say. So, but yeah, obviously, we really want the kids to go to doctors for things like concussions. Get checked out by their doctors, and we communicate that through the process. So. With grades, we obviously expect our athletes to be student athletes first. I do grade checks. I do them at the midterm and at every quarter. So, with this one, when midterms come around, I will check grades, and that will determine the eligibility. So if a student athlete has more or has two Fs or more, they are immediately from that point ineligible for athletics. And that is a 2-week process, and we stick to the 2-week process because we want them to have their grades good all the time. So we don't let them go turn in 5 assignments to social studies to get that grade up, and then they're eligible right away, because it really doesn't teach them much. It teaches them, hey, I can get my grade up and then I'm good, and they're not going to check again. So we want them to have that grade good at all times. So we are firm on the 2 weeks if they are ineligible. Now, oftentimes I will check a little beforehand, and we check throughout the year. I try to, and talk to Coach Bering and say, hey, so and so has a few Fs. Talk to them, make sure we get that grade up. So whatever. But once we get to the grade check, the official one, if they are dinged, they are out for 2 weeks. After the 2 weeks, I recheck. If they are good, then if they have fewer than 2 Fs, they are eligible. If not, then they go back on for 2 more weeks. So once again, we don't really budge on that unless it's a very, very special circumstance that is different than just missing assignments. So we hold firm on that, and that's kind of how we've been doing that for a long time. So with cheer, there's not really a playing time that comes along with that, but I kind of just defer to Coach Bering on most everything. She's at the practices, at the games with the girls the most. So I talk to her about any decisions she wants to make or decides to make, and we kind of work with that. Now, in the same sentence, obviously, if the players or if the cheerleaders have any issues, I would like for them to talk to Coach Bering first. But my email door is always open. If anybody feels like they need to talk to me, I'm available. But obviously, we'd like for the girls to have those conversations with Coach Bering, and then if you need to have any other conversations, that's fine. We can set up meetings and things like that. But probably not going to have anything like that. When it comes to conduct, we stress to them that when they put on the uniform that they're representing Yorktown, and we hope that they think about that, always do the right thing, good sportsmanship, stuff like that. We really like that, and we really like the parents to model those things. It's always a bad look when we have parents that are up in the stands screaming at officials, or has happened where they've yelled at other fans or players. That's just never a good look. So we want to be exemplary. We preach that to the kids. We hope that, you know, everybody involved, including fans, can definitely help follow that. So I always like to say that we haven't had a lot of issues there, but you know, it happens occasionally. When it comes to COVID, we're not really in a spot like we were last year. I don't have any restrictions at this point. Fingers crossed, aside from when kids are on buses, everybody's got to wear masks because it's a federal mandate. So at this point, any traveling we do on a bus, just like with school, the kids have to wear masks. That's just how it is. So we don't have anything where they're wearing masks. Masks are obviously optional. They can wear them while they cheer if they want. They can wear them at any time that they want, but it's not mandatory unless we are on a bus. So please make sure your athletes always have a mask on them when traveling, so we don't, you know, run into that issue where, you know, they don't have masks and we have problems there. So just always keep a mask in the bag. It just, you know, it always helps to just have it on them so they can put that on, make sure they don't forget it when we go on trips. Like I said, right now, we don't have any attendance issues. We're kind of at full capacity. Our health department hasn't really said that we need to change anything right now, so we're not. It could happen that we do, and some of this stuff could change, and obviously I would communicate that, but right now we're good. We are doing the $5 tickets like we did last year. We don't really hold tickets for people, so, you know, we pay at the gate typically unless we specify otherwise. And we are not doing all sports passes this year. I know some schools are, but we decided not to because we're concerned that, you know, if we run into something where things happen to be canceled due to COVID or whatever, getting refunds and stuff like that would be a nightmare. So we kind of scratched that for this year, revisiting for next year, depending on the circumstances. We do plan to have concessions at home events. As for like things that we have in our own gym at the middle school, we're going to be doing prepackaged foods and drinks, but the football concessions should be a full go. So popcorn, hot dogs, all that stuff, we should be good there. We don't run that, Band Boosters do, but I'm pretty sure they're ready for a full season. So as far as seating, the X's and stuff that we did last year, social distancing, we're really not practicing any of that right now. You have the opportunity to do that for sure. At football games, there will be plenty of room. So shouldn't be an issue, but, you know, we're not really preaching any of that at this point. As for dates, fall pictures are Monday, August 23rd. So go ahead and put that down. I will send out some more information as we get closer, but Monday, August 23rd, we're going to do fall sports pictures. So we don't have any events scheduled that day, so it works out pretty well. Most teams will just get in and get out. So
do you have a schedule for the
sorry.
sorry. Do you have a schedule for the time?
No, I'm going to talk to the coaches and figure out what works best for everybody. So, you know, we'll try to, I know some teams would rather go a little later than others. But, you know, it doesn't take very long for the most part. And I'm pretty sure they're going to bring 2 crews. So, you know, if you wanted to go right after school or 30 minutes after school, it's probably going to work out. So, we'll talk later. So
perfect. Thanks.
Yeah. YorktownAthletics.com has our schedule. I do have some schedules that are in the front office. I always point out YorktownAthletics.com because it has the schedule that's going to be most up to date. We don't run into a lot of issues where you know, it changes when I make changes in my scheduler on the website. So I always try to have people go there, YorktownAthletics.com. You're going to find the up-to-date schedule. Also, if you don't already do that, follow me on Twitter at YMS Athletics. I put any updates up there. It's an easy follow. If you don't follow anybody else, which I don't, because that's all I use Twitter for, is for this athletic stuff. It's just good to get the little notifications if something pops up and I tweet something about practice or about the game or whatever. I put it right on Twitter before I do anything because it's just easy. So aside from that, let me pull up a schedule here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let me get this out of the way here. All right. Okay, so here's what we have schedule wise. Let me see if I can zoom in on this a little bit. All right, so the way we're going to handle this year, we're going to go to the away games. So Newcastle, Mount Vernon, Shenandoah, and Southside. Those would be the away games where they'll be riding buses to different places. Obviously, Highland, Delta, and Greenfield are home. Well, Greenfield's a split, but Delta and Anderson are home this year. And then we do split level games with Pendleton and Greenfield. These games right here are always going to be home for cheer. It just makes more sense to have our whole cheer squad stay home, cheer for the game here, rather than having one squad travel and the other stay. It's just better to just cheer the one game. That's kind of how we've handled that. I think everybody kind of agrees that that's the best way to do it. I haven't had anybody that said, no, I'd rather travel to Pendleton Heights tonight. So that's kind of how we'll do that. So really we have 4 away and then we have the 4 home. So that's how we'll handle the schedule this year. If you want to look at that right now, you can. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Coach Baring. You have anything you want to say?
I don't think so. Does anybody have any questions?
No questions? All right, sweet. Well, that was pretty short and sweet. If you have any questions after this, or you're unsure about something you just forgot to ask, don't hesitate to email me. Email Coach Baring. We'll answer any questions you have. Otherwise, I appreciate you all coming out, and we'll see you out on the fields this fall.
Thank you.
Thank you.